Hi there, this is Ranjit, and in this video, we'll be doing the comparison between the Lenovo A6000 Plus and this Euphoria. And both of these are actually very good budget-oriented Android devices. And in this video, we'll be testing which one is better for you. And for that, I've divided it into various categories. So let's start looking at them. And the first thing is regarding physical appearances. In fact, I would say I have both versions of the Euphoria. The Euphoria comes in two colors. One is this black one, it has this metal accents, and one white color, and this again has a metal accent, and this is looks like copper. In fact, I would say the white one might be a better option because the black one is sort of a fingerprint magnet. But when we move to the Lenovo A6000 Plus, you only get it in one color, which is black, and again the entire body is made up of plastic. It's not like the Euphoria where the bezel is actually made up of metal. So here I would say in terms of physical looks, I would say the Euphoria goes ahead. Don't get me wrong, the Lenovo is also nice, but again it's not that jazzy, it's just plain black. When we talk about the weight, the Lenovo A6000 Plus weighs less, it weighs just 128 grams, whereas the Euphoria weighs in at 143 grams. But when you use the devices, it does not feel that heavy. So I feel it's pretty comfortable. Now, when we move to the user interface, here things change drastically. This Euphoria comes with CyanogenOS 12, which is nothing but a custom ROM based on Android Lollipop. So the experience is very familiar to stock Android, I would say, apart from some extra enhancement that you get with CyanogenOS. When we move to the Lenovo A6000 Plus and the Lenovo A6000, even A7000, they run on this custom Lenovo Vibe UI, which is actually very different. We don't even get an app tray. So it looks like a little bit different, I would say, if you are used to stock Android. But it does offer all the functionality, so that works. Also, if you like the stock Android experience, you can install, the Google Now launcher even on the Lenovo A6000 Plus. But if you like stock Android experience, then again, the Euphoria goes ahead. Another thing to note is that Lenovo A6000 Plus, as of now, runs on KitKat. Lenovo has said that this device will also be getting Android L update, but we don't know when. So in that aspect, I would say the Euphoria goes ahead. Now, if we talk about the general performance, both these devices have identical processors, identical RAM and the storage. Both are powered by the Snapdragon 410 chipset, and they have 2 gigs of RAM, 16 gigs of internal storage, and also a micro SD card. So the performance is actually very similar, I would say. First, let's talk about the Lenovo A6000 Plus. As I told you, it runs on the Lenovo custom UI, that is Vibe UI, and for the most part, I would say it runs it very well. There is minor lag sometimes that I noticed. I would say just about 2% or something like that, but for the most part, I would say it runs it very well. I do not notice any other lagginess or anything deal breakers with this Lenovo A6000 Plus. When we move to the Euphoria, it runs on CyanogenOS 12. Again, it's the experience very stock Android-like, and for the most part, it runs very well. But I've noticed some lag in the dialer, and also when I use the keyboard, then there is quite a bit of lag. Also, there are some issues with the sensors. For example, if we talk about the cellular call quality on both these devices is actually very good. But I have noticed that this Euphoria is having proximity sensor issues. When I make long voice calls, the proximity sensor acts a little bit wonky, and that's the same case with the two Euphorias that I have. But in that aspect, I don't have any sensor issues with the Lenovo A6000 Plus. When we talk about the screen, both of these devices have a 5-inch screen, which is a 720p HD screen. And for the most part, I would say both devices have very good screen quality. But if I have to pick, I would say the screen color accuracy is slightly better on the Lenovo A6000 Plus. Again, for normal users, you won't notice it. But if you notice very closely, then the A6000 Plus has a slightly better screen. But when we talk about the protection, here again the Euphoria goes ahead because it has Gorilla Glass 3 protection, whereas on the Lenovo A6000 Plus, we don't have any protection like Gorilla Glass. As I mentioned, the cellular call quality is also very good on both the devices. But one thing to note is that as both of these devices are dual SIM devices, the 4G functionality is only on the first SIM with the Lenovo A6000 Plus. The second SIM is just 2G, not even 3G. Whereas on the Euphoria, both the SIMs are 4G and 3G enabled. So that offers you a lot more flexibility in my opinion. Now, if we move to the camera, I would say the rear-facing camera is the same. Both have a 8 megapixel shooter, whereas the front-facing camera on the Euphoria is a 5 megapixel shooter, and on the Lenovo A6000 Plus, it's a 2 megapixel shooter. Here are some of the sample shots that I've taken with both the devices so that you can compare which one is better. I feel the Euphoria has more contrast to the pictures, but the color accuracy is not there. I'm shooting this video with the Euphoria and the Lenovo A6000 Plus. The Lenovo A6000 Plus records video only up to 720p, whereas this Euphoria is recording it up to 1080p. And I'm doing this handheld side by side so that you can judge which one does better in video recording. I'm going to pan in slowly now. And at this point I'm not very sure which one is doing a better job. And we have the tap to focus functionality on the Euphoria, but if we tap on the Lenovo A6000 Plus, it just takes a picture. I'm going to walk back normally now. So this should give you an idea about the video recording between the Euphoria and the Lenovo A6000 Plus in outdoor conditions. These pictures were shot in semi-indoor conditions, and here I would say the A6000 has an edge. The pictures were a lot sharper and they came out a lot clearer. Recording this part of the footage with the front-facing camera of the Lenovo A6000 Plus. Again, this is in outdoor conditions. Recording this video with the Euphoria with the front-facing camera, and the good thing is that even with the front-facing camera, it can record the video in 1080p. So I feel the rear-facing camera is better on the Lenovo A6000 Plus, whereas the front-facing camera is better on the Euphoria. Now, if we talk about the battery, I would say the battery life on both these devices is actually very good. It can easily last you for a full working day, and the capacity is also very similar. On the Euphoria, we have a 2230 milliamp hour battery, whereas on the Lenovo, we have a 2300 milliamp hour battery. I would say in battery life, both are good, but if I have to compare, the Lenovo might be just about 5% better. So as you can see, both devices are actually pretty good and they perform pretty well, but I feel in the camera department, particularly in the rear facing camera department, the Lenovo is better, and I would go with the Lenovo over the Euphoria because as I mentioned, this Euphoria is having some serious issues with the proximity sensor, and also there is quite a bit of keyboard lag which was annoying. For example, I test my phones with my SIM, but just after 1.5 days of usage with the Euphoria, the first unit I tested for 3 days, it was having so much proximity sensor issues that I couldn't use it. Even with the second unit that I have, just after 1.5 days, I had to remove the SIM because of the proximity sensor issues, which was making the phone unusable. If you take a lot of calls, it will be really inconvenient, and I was not having those sort of usability issues with the Lenovo A6000 Plus. So as of now, if I had to pick, I would go with the Lenovo A6000 Plus. I've also posted several other videos on both these devices, so make sure you check them out. And if you found this video helpful, I'll appreciate if you can click the like button. And if you're not subscribed to my YouTube channel, hit that subscribe button. Thanks for watching. This is Ranjit, and I hope to see you in my next video.